Episode 118.
Are you ready to take your eBay business to the next level? Then hold on, because Ron and Ali are going to take you into the fast lane with the latest tips and insights from some of the biggest and most successful sellers here on the So You Want to Sell on eBay podcast.
Welcome once again to another episode of So You Want to Sell on eBay. I'm Ron LeBeau.
And I'm Ali Young.
Hey, everyone. We have with us from Texas, Chris Gordon. Chris, how you doing this evening, sir?
Hey, guys. I'm proud to be here. How much fun?
All right. How you doing, Ali? In Thailand there?
I'm great. I can see I'm going to learn a lot about a lot today. It's brilliant.
This is going to be a great one. So the Cowboy House is a hobby gone wild, and everyone knows that the Dallas Cowboys are America's team. And in 2009, Chris and his wife Jennifer took a risk and purchased the entire upper deck and half the lower bowl of stadium seats at public auction from the old Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas. From this, they grew a small business, opening the first sports memorabilia store in a 4-town area known as Lake Cities.
For all the other people who aren't American, we're going to have to translate some of this. So it sounds mental. It sounds really crazy. Especially the part when you rented the whole upper deck. But Dallas Cowboys are America's team. Would there be anyone who would think that's not true?
Well, there were, but they need a psychologist. The Dallas Cowboys, they've won 5 Super Bowls. They've got the best-looking cheerleaders. They've got the most popular quarterbacks in history. They're the only stadium that in the beginning when it was built with a hole in the roof. Do you know why?
Why is that?
It was so God could watch his football team play on Sundays.
He starts with jokes, guys.
Where's my vomit bag?
No, that's data. That's the truth, baby.
And so, Ali, just to be clear, he didn't rent the seats. So what happened was there was the old Texas Stadium. They actually purchased the entire upper deck and half the lower bowl of the stadium seats. They actually purchased the seats themselves. This is crazy. This is crazy stuff. So talk about that, Chris. How'd that come about? And wow, tell me about that.
Sure, I'd love to. First off, I grew up in Irving, Texas, went to Irving High School, played football for Irving and for Texas A&M on that stadium. When I graduated from high school, they had risers set up on the 50-yard line at the stadium. So the stadium meant a lot to me. It was my first Monster Jam, my first George Strait concert, my first KC and the Sunshine Band. It was just that was what you did on the weekends because that was the big thing. So when I found out that they were going to implode the stadium and build a new Jerry Jones world, we call it Jerry's World. It's a Taj Mahal. It's so much. The new AT&T Stadium is so much more than just a football stadium. It made me really sad that they were going to tear it down. I had seen this, most of my life. So I decided that day that when I saw in the newspaper that they were going to sell some of the stuff from the stadium, man, I wanted in. I wanted to go in as a hobbyist and as a Cowboys fan and create a new business model out of Texas Stadium memorabilia. So essentially, I signed up to become a bonded bidder. You had to have $3 million worth of bonded insurance to even be a bidder. I was bidding against Steiner Sports in New York City. I was bidding against Jerry Jones, the current owner of the Dallas Cowboys. I was bidding against Archer Stadium seats and some of the big people who had done this before. I've never done anything like this. I've been in oncology and medical sales all my life, and I've taken a lot of flights where I'm on American Airlines and I'm reading that American Way magazine, and there's those damn Yankee Stadium seats in there, and they're selling them for $800. And I'm like, man, if they can sell Yankee Stadium seats, I know I can sell Dallas Cowboys seats. So I took a risk after 32 days of bidding, because you had 24 hours to place your bid, and then the next person could place a bid. It was a public opportunity. When I finally won, I woke up my wife about 1 o'clock in the morning and said, I've drained our 401k. I've drained our bank account. I've all the money that I had at purchasing 25,000 plus stadium seats. But I promise you, we'll make it up. Well, she didn't talk to me for 31 days.
Right. Brilliant. Right. Sensible woman.
And he's written a book since how to get your wife not to talk to you in 31 days or something.
Exactly. So, it's one of those deals that once you win the bid, now what? I'd never done this before. So fortunately, I was having a good year in medical sales. I took a month off and acted as a project manager to where we hired people daily. We'd have 35 to 50 people out at the stadium every day, unbolting the seats from the concrete risers. There was no electricity. It was August of 2010, where we had 46 straight days of temperature over 100 degrees. With no air conditioning, no electricity.
Wow.
We're out there with hand tools, ratcheting off rusted bolts and rusted nuts and removing these 60-pound cast iron, authentic, historic pieces of memorabilia and covering every part in piece. Then we had 32 tractor-trailer trucks that we loaded up these seats into and transported them out of the stadium. But there's more.
Oh, well, there's more from that? Jeez.
Just the stadium seats. We also purchased the last of the game-used turf. So we have stadium seats from the stadium. We bought the last game-used football field where Jason Witten scored all of his touchdowns on. This week, Jason Witten was named the number one receiver in the history of the Dallas Cowboys. He has more yards than any other Dallas Cowboy, and he played in that stadium. So did Des Bryant. So did Tony Romo, Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith. I have the football field that they played on, the sweat and the blood and the tears on that stadium. So I will cut squares of turf to sit your Texas stadium seats on in your man cave, your fishing dock. But what I really enjoy doing with them is last year I had a United Way auction. I had one single seat, 4 people bidding against each other on it. I earned $2,900 for a single stadium seat for charity. Every year we donate to 70 to 80 different charities in our area. As long as they're a legitimate 501c3, I've never turned them down. We've been able to give back to the community because of these silly seats. You want to take a stab at how many I have left today out of 25,000 plus?
24,900.
That's what you think. That's what my wife thought.
Yeah.
I've got 62 left.
Wow.
Really?
62 left.
So let's back up just a little bit. You've got 25,000 seats in 32 trailers. Where in God's name do you store these things?
That's a great question. I stored them in tractor trailer trucks in a truck yard. And as I needed them, I would unload 100 or 200 seats into a flatbed trailer and then move them into my store. Jeez. And we even did some cool things with them where I made custom floor mounts that you bolt to the frame so they can stand upright. I even had I've got a patent on custom welded rockers to where you can actually rock in the stadium seats.
Oh my gosh.
Custom autographs and custom numbers. Like a lot of people like the number 88 for Des Bryant, Michael Irvin, Drew Pearson. There was no seat number 88. So I found the aluminum plates. I matched the metal thickness, matched the fonts. I drilled out the original one, and I can re-rivet in custom plates for customers that want something different or something special. I even make some of them that say mom and dad as rockers, and we sell all of this on eBay.
So how are your medical sales doing these days?
Well, I'm glad you asked. The company actually sold last July. It grew from a $4 million business to a $44 million business, and they sold to a private equity firm that was international. And I walked away from corporate America, so I haven't worked in corporate America for well over a year.
High five there, brother.
So now I own my eBay business, of course, that really drives the Cowboy House sports memorabilia store, brick and mortar store. And then what I realized with my sports store was I'm losing 40% margins on shipping. My gosh, shipping is expensive these days. And these silly seats are heavy, 65, 70. I'm shipping them to soldiers in Afghanistan. I'm shipping them to customers in Australia. I shipped some to 20 of them to a bar owner in Barcelona, Spain, who put them on the beach, who was a huge Dallas Cowboys fan and never been to America. And he has my stadium seats at his bar in Barcelona. So I opened up another store right next to mine called Quick Ship Mail and Business Center. My wife, Jennifer, thank God I married up. I tell you what, guys, if you have the opportunity to marry up, you got to do it. It's the best thing I've ever done.
I did.
She didn't talk to you for 31 days. Are you sure that's the right advice?
Yeah, well, I recovered on the 32nd day.
Yes, yeah,
there
you got some money
there
back.
You go.
When she saw the money in the PayPal account, she's like, okay, this is going to be all right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we own a car wash and an ice franchise, and it's all on the same street. And so now I'm not traveling anymore. I see my wife a lot more. I'm involved with my daughter and her soccer team and everything else going on locally. Whereas before I was just an international sales guy. I love the medical industry, but really now I really enjoy running my own business.
So all this really kind of started in 2009. If I would have told you in 2007 that you were going to purchase 25,000 seats from a stadium, and I know you still have that passion for that stadium, but if I would have told you were going to buy 25,000 seats from a stadium, would you have believed me?
That's an interesting question. I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit, and I've always been one to take a calculated risk. I know you have to swing the bat to hit a home run, and you're going to swing it 10 times. Like, who had more strikeouts in history? It was Mickey Mantle, and everybody knows who Mickey Mantle is in baseball.
I don't.
And he missed. Yeah. Oh, well, I'll send you a video.
Send me a YouTube clip.
Yeah, he missed the ball more than anybody, but man, he hit some home runs, and everybody knows him in history now, except for this guy in Thailand.
Yeah.
So, I took a calculated risk. This one paid off. We were able to sell, I guess I could say all of the seats. I've got about 60 in inventory today. We're almost done. I've sold them on Amazon and Groupon and multiple other websites. Even the Neiman Marcus catalog, Walmart.com, you'll find these silly Texas Stadium seats, which I've become very passionate about. Where else can you find just authentic memorabilia that was in a stadium that no longer exists today, that it's versatile? You can put it outside, you can put it inside, you can put it on your fishing dock, you can put it in your man cave, you can give it to charities. I've found ways to really, if I could tell you some of the stories about these given as anniversary gifts and birthday presents and Christmas gifts and graduation, young and old people, they enjoy these chairs. I'm really sad that I'm almost done with them.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Is there any kind of a certificate of authentication that comes with like the AstroTurf or the seats or anything, just to know that I really absolutely, because I'd love to frame that as well if there is something like that.
Absolutely. I'm so glad you asked because, there's a lot of crooks in the sports industry.
Right.
I started this as a hobby because I love the stadium, not because I wanted it to be a business. I didn't know that it was really going to be the business that was what I devote my time to. I thought it was going to be fun and cool and a hobby. And I can go around and say, hey, I'm the guy that bought all the seats out of the stadium.
Yeah.
That's ultimately, I thought that's what it would be. But yes, it does come with a full certificate of authenticity. I bought them directly from the city of Irving, so I have a COA from the city of Irving. When you purchase them, you get a full certificate, as well as I have my own hologram with my Texas Resellers ID on them, certifying that I was the winning bidder of 25,000 plus Texas Stadium seats. And as far as the turf, we paid Steiner Sports in New York City to authenticate it. I was bidding against them. I ended up purchasing it from them so that they would certify it for me.
Oh, wow. That's very intelligent.
I do have a full COA.
Yeah. So, I mean, you went from medical sales to this, and I'm just trying to think of what the day would look like when you saw that winning bid that you won the bids. I mean, I don't know how I'd react. It sounds overwhelming. Yeah.
It really was a realization that you got to be careful what you ask for, because now what? I'd never done this. I'll give you an example. One of the items that I bid on was the scoreboard that was hanging in the old stadium. Well, little did I know that the scoreboard, there wasn't a crane in the state of Texas that was big enough in the parking lot over into the roof to go down and remove that scoreboard. It would have cost me over $100,000 to remove the scoreboard that I won in auction. So what do I do? I get in touch with the Weir brothers, the construction crew that was in charge of the demolition of the stadium, and I make an agreement with them that, hey, let it go ahead and crash to the ground. I just want to come pick up the pieces the next day. So,
oh my gosh! Wow!
So I was able to go into the stadium after the implosion. Was told one of the very few people that they allowed to do that, and I collected the field goal steel, pieces of the rafters, pieces of the roof, sheet metal from the tunnel, and of course pieces of the scoreboard and the time clock. And I gave a lot of this metal to a very prestigious museum in Dallas called the National Museum. and they took all of this imploded debris from the stadium, and they developed a sculpture that's in the museum today, made out of just material from the implosion. So this opportunity has allowed me to do a lot of really fun things. You know, when a guy like Roger Staubach, America's quarterback, calls you up and says, hey, I would really enjoy some of those seats to give to my mother and to give to some charities. Could I come by and take a look at them? Roger, back your truck up. I'm going to load you up. Sign some autographs for me.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
I have met so many players. In fact, I was with Tony Romo's cousin today, DeMarcus Ware yesterday. It's given me the opportunity to meet some of my heroes. That's what I never thought I would have been able to do. I believe that I would start a business. I would believe that I would take a risk and buy some crazy product, because I've done it before and I've been skunked.
Yeah.
Probably all done that. We won't talk about those widgets. But what I don't believe is how I've been given access to attend a Super Bowl, how I've been able to be in a suite with Jerry Jones and Emmitt Smith and Michael Irvin and Troy Aikman, how I've been able to play cards on Thursday night with the likes of George Teague and get invitations to quinceañeras and birthday parties of Dallas Cowboy players. That's what's really cool that I never expected.
Wow, you might just well have been or be the America's entrepreneur, man, after all this move. I mean, seriously, it's pretty crazy stuff. I mean, I don't even know how you call a company and say, bring 33 trucks to this lot. I don't know how you do that. That's incredible. All of it's incredible.
Where do you find 40 to 50 guys that have bonded insurance so that they can go onto city property and remove these seats?
That don't mind working in 100+ degree weather with manual tools.
Well,
Yeah.
That's what we call a sweatshop.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ron and Ali will be right back after this short break.
Life is full of numbers. Our brains process literally hundreds of numbers and equations every hour of every day. When it comes to your business, give your brain a break as well as peace of mind that the numbers are figuring up as they should with MyCost Pro. MyCost Pro is an easy-to-use automated eBay bookkeeping program for Excel that imports sales data directly from your seller account. MyCost Pro automatically generates accounting and performance reports to show you your true bottom-line profit. You can even view and edit active listing details such as price and quantity, and relist unsold items directly from MyCost Pro. All you need is Excel on your Windows PC. Take control of your business and free up those long nights of crunching the numbers. Visit mycostpro.com for a 21-day no-obligation free trial using coupon code PODCAST, exclusively for So You Want to Sell on eBay podcast listeners. It's only right around the corner. Ecom Chicago 2017. Innovate, inspire, and grow. Join us October 19th through 21st in Elk Grove Village, Illinois, for the 4th annual event that focuses on e-commerce and business growth. Hear strategies from expert speakers. Learn new ideas and techniques that will help to develop your business. Speak and network with like-minded online sellers, as well as experts and mentors who will be available throughout the event, such as Jason T. Smith, Kathy Terrell, Eddie Levine, and Peter Cairns, just to name a few. The wealth of experience, knowledge, and enthusiasm is sure to be mind-blowing. Go to ecomchicago.com for more information. Sponsorship opportunities available. New this year for attendees is a pre-event vendor showcase on Thursday, October 19th, where our participating vendors will be giving live, focused demos on their product or service.
Be sure to check out So You Want to Sell on eBay.com for the latest podcasts and all the information you need to get selling fast.
So then this leads you to your eBay. So you had your eBay store prior to this obsessive compulsiveness that you had there with the seats.
That's correct. And I honestly, I've always been a collector. When I got married, I learned that I was no longer a collector.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
You know how that works.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You can have a room, but your house, no. We got got to make room for me. So I started selling on eBay. I was emptying out the closets, preparing to get married, and what I realized as a sales guy is you can sell anything.
Yep.
Yeah.
You just got to tell the right story. You got to find the right person that needs it. You got to find the right niche. So on my eBay store, you'll find everything from dresses to tools to all kinds of sports memorabilia for baseball, hockey, soccer. We've got over 10,000 autographed items in my store. I don't have it all on eBay. I try to limit it so that it's just not so overwhelming for the people that come to my store. But I really enjoy having outlets other than a walk-in crowd. The power of having an online audience and so not social commerce, but web commerce is more than I ever expected. It's getting to where the small brick and mortar stores are a thing of the past. Everybody's ordering online, including your groceries.
Yep, exactly. So, would you say that this is your dream job now? I mean, obviously you did the medical sales for a while, and it kind of took you away from your family. You said you already, have always had an entrepreneurial spirit, but I mean, would this be right up there with a dream job for you?
I think so. Yeah, I don't know what other course I would have taken. Of course, I love medical sales and oncology, and I would still be doing that. Most guys can't leave their job because they've got something else. I was really fortunate that I was doing enough web traffic that I could walk away from corporate America and a six-figure salary with customers that I'd had for a long time and a job that I really enjoyed, and just walk away and go. I'm a 2.5 million miler traveling on American Airlines. I'm well versed to international travel. 2 years ago, I was in the London airport 4 times and in Dubai a couple of times, in Dusseldorf. I really enjoyed travel, and I enjoyed that chase. But I think I like this better. I've got a fraternity brother who used to be the CFO of Nike, and I asked him, "Hey man, why'd you quit? You had such a sweet job." He said, "I got tired of working with assholes." I'm sorry, I probably wasn't supposed to say that, but it's kind of cool getting to work for yourself and be your own boss. Well, let me just say, my wife is the boss, and then I'm my own boss.
Right.
King of the castle when she's not around.
I will say this, that 31 days seemed to teach you a lot of lessons because you really where to respect her. That's really cool. So, and you guys work really well together. You said she helps with the shipping side of things. Is that right in your business there?
Yes, sir. She was the sales director for the City of San Diego Visitors and Tourism Bureau, working from home in Dallas. She walked away from that corporate America job so that she'd have more flexibility to be room mom for our daughter and to be home more. And I just said, hey, we're losing all of this money because we can't control our cost on shipping. If we open up our own shipping business, by the way, there's not one in our town. So if you've ever been in a FedEx Kinko's where you go in and you need somebody to box something up and ship it, that's exactly what we do. So we opened up a business model to where people in our town have an option other than the post office. If they don't want to wait in line, if they want better customer service, they come see my beautiful wife. She takes the dogs to work with her every day. So she's really enjoying that flexibility. We've got a few great employees that we've known through various avenues. I've never hired somebody that was a stranger. I haven't had to. So I'm surrounded by people that I trust. And really, that's kind of how I lived my life in medical sales. I always pushed myself. When I exited, I was a vice president of international business. And I feel like the only way I got there was because I always pushed myself to surround myself with people that I could learn from and grow from, and never accepted the status quo. Same with my eBay business.
That's awesome, man. That's just incredible. I mean, this story is amazing, isn't it, Ali?
Oh, I've been waiting to talk. I mean, I've never had someone who's got such passion for something. It's like, please, what about me? Where can I talk? But it's you've got. I mean, but. I see your seats here, actually. I didn't know what these seats were like until I looked at your eBay. They're actually quite big, bulky things, aren't they? So what about buying all this stuff? You got like thrift stores and things like that. Are you people coming around your house, knocking on your door saying, are you the eBay guy?
I do allow local pickup in my listings. So my store is by appointment only, except for Saturdays. We're always there on Saturday. For anybody that doesn't want to pay for shipping or that I have an offer of free shipping, they can come to my store for local pickup.
Okay. I mean, you got from watches to women's clothing to everything. How do you manage all this? How do you know where that Jackson Mason's Dallas watch is?
I know exactly where that Dallas watch is.
Do you see his eyes light up, Ron? It just suddenly, I know where that watch is. Yeah.
May I ask which one, the stainless steel or the leather band? You know?
Yeah. We're looking at the stainless steel, of course.
I've got two of them listed right now. Yeah. No, at my shipping store, Quick Ship Mail and Business Center, we built some rather robust shelving units and cubbies. And, my wife is a master organizer, and so are our employees. And I'm not going to lie to you, stuff gets lost and stuff gets sold. But really, some of my stumbling blocks are because of eBay. Yep. Sometimes they do silly things that really wrecks my business. Can I give you an example?
Go for it. Please do.
Sure.
So about a month ago, I sold a Green Bay Packers ring. Well, Green Bay Packers are not America's team, but they're still a great football team. They've got a fantastic following at Lambeau Field. It's the only stadium in the United States that's actually owned by the people that go to the games. It's owned by the people and not by the city, not by one big owner. So I appreciate Green Bay Packer fans. I have these oversized Balfour rings that are licensed by the NFL, manufactured in the USA by Balfour Jewelers. And I throw it online. Balfour, they decided to close out. So I bought thousands of these NFL licensed ring, Dallas Cowboys, Washington Redskins, San Francisco 49ers. I pay X and I sell for Y, right? I buy in bulk. If you can buy all that's out there, you then control the marketing, you control the price. That's another reason why I wanted all of those seats. Well, I had a buyer that eBay sent me a message and said that I'm not authorized to sell Green Bay Packer rings. You have to get permission of the NFL.
Yep.
And I'm like, wait a minute. I bought these. They're licensed. They're made in the USA. I've got a receipt. I've got an invoice to show you that I bought thousands of these rings, and you're telling me that I can't sell them online. And so they canceled my account, and I lost everything. And I had to pay somebody to relist thousands of items. They let me back on with the same user ID, but I don't understand why they allow the NFL to bully them or other manufacturers. Nike's another one. If you sell a Nike product, sometimes Nike only wants their authorized resellers to sell stuff. But if I go and I buy it directly from the Dallas Cowboys Pro Shop, if I buy 300 pairs of NFL game-used gloves that the players wear at the end of the season, I've got the ability to do that. And Nike doesn't appreciate that I'm competing with them. And so they call up eBay and tell eBay, hey, you got to kick this guy off. He's not authorized to sell our gloves.
Yeah. And, I think a lot of it is, I know we used to do some drop shipping, and our drop shipper was that same way. I mean, you could find the luggage and the backpacks and tote bags and all those things that are, with our brand on it, but we couldn't sell it. And so it's the same similar thing. And it was in that regard that our drop shipper, because I've had several conversations with them, they just didn't want their product being sold on eBay because in their mind, it was like discounting their product is what they looked at it. But you could find the product all day long because like you said, you can go in the store, you could find it somewhere else and buy it and then sell it that way. But I couldn't buy it from my drop shipping directly and do it that way.
Well, I also didn't like that there were 16 other sellers selling the same exact ring, and I was the only one that got kicked off. Yeah, because I had the majority. Another silly situation that came up recently, I had a customer that bought a stadium seat. He got it in the box, and I disassemble the seat back and bottom from the cast iron frame so that I can get it in a 2 cubic foot size box. Otherwise, it would be a 4 foot long box, and that's cost prohibitive. Well, he sent me an email. Hey, I love the seat. I need help building it. I don't understand your instructions. So I said, okay, great. Call me. I'd be happy to help you. Well, 5 minutes later, he gets kicked off of eBay. My account gets shut down. I can no longer access my account. And I get notification from eBay that says, hey, you're trying to do sales outside of eBay, and this is not allowed.
Oh.
And so I called them and I said, I'm not trying to sell outside. I'm trying to provide customer support. And by the way, my phone number was in the listings. I didn't know that was frowned upon. They've been in there since 2009. And now all of a sudden I was told I had to go through 2,000 listings and remove my phone number out of all of them.
Yeah, that's a new thing that is. Yeah, I have that with another client. Yeah, it's a new thing. It's It certainly gets complicated. So, geez, I mean, you got a beautiful. Is there a reason why you don't actually have a store?
I do have a store.
You have an account.
You're talking about an eBay store.
Yeah, an actual eBay store. Is it? What's your? Why did you not choose to do that?
Two things. I used to have a store, and the last time they kicked off my account, I decided I'm not going to pay them every month for a store when they just keep kicking me out and I have to relist everything.
Oh, okay.
And then my second thought was, why have a store? People are buying it anyway.
Yeah.
All they've got to do is click on my user and they can find it all. But, and really, it might be my ignorance. Maybe I need to have a store again. I haven't checked into it in a couple of years.
Yeah, it's certainly, it's like, sometimes it's just all in one place when you have a store. But if it's working, isn't it? It's I've never seen it before. I think it's just great. I just thought I'd put that question out. And you're also doing buy it nows and all your stuff, yeah?
Yeah, I only will do stuff by auction whenever I want to stimulate people back to my stuff. So I'll throw something out for a penny or 99 cents just so people check out the website and check out the other things that I have as a loss leader. But primarily, I've been pretty happy listing most things with free shipping because I know that's searchable. Yeah. A lot of people will want to buy. And if I want to compete with Amazon, all of the Amazon Prime members that have their free shipping, man, if you don't offer that, they don't even look at you.
Right. Yep. Yeah, there's two schools of thoughts on that, but you're absolutely correct. I mean, a lot of people do that. I mean, I know for a buyer, a lot of times if it's not free shipping, I won't even want to calculate it. I want the free shipping. Yeah. I know it's built into the price, but yeah, that's just a personal preference.
Yes, so the last question before, and then we'll let you go back to your seats. Chris, where you see yourself in the future here? What's your plans in your sort of business? Are you going to expand or?
If I can be perfectly honest with you, I find myself listing more on other platforms because they're a little bit more seller friendly. And the fees are, I'm not going to say that Amazon's fees are more. But Amazon buyers, in my experience, they also pay more. And some of the demographic and the marketing studies that I paid for have shown me that Amazon shoppers tend not to price shop. They pay for Prime, so they only order Prime items. So right. I joined that, and I've got twice as many items on Amazon as I do eBay, which it kind of makes me sad because eBay is what I cut my teeth on, and eBay was good and loyal to me for so many years. But it's just become no longer customer-centric. There was no reason they should have kicked me off because I was helping a customer build something that he bought from me.
And here's what I would say to that, Chris.
Of dollars because I had to pay to relist everything. Yeah. And they didn't offer to return that.
I would suggest not giving up on eBay. I would suggest getting an eBay store and trying that method again.
Okay.
And because eBay is really in the last even 6 months has really done a lot for customer support and customer service, and they're changing a lot of things, and a lot of things that we're hearing are very positive what eBay is doing. Obviously there's a lot of people on multiple platforms, but if I were you, I'm just a suggestion. I would not give up on eBay at this point.
Yeah. No, that's great feedback. Is there only one store? Are there different levels of stores? What's your guys?
Yeah, there's different levels, and it's all dependent on. You can go into these subscriptions and have a look. But the thing I like when we interview, because we've interviewed so many people from so many spectrums, from so many different types of genres and stuff. And the store, the good thing about a store is you can get the categories all set up, you can get everything in place, you can control how it's going to look and stuff, and it just, you can go into subscriptions and have a look at different levels and stuff, depending on, because you're a sort of prime person for something like that. You've got so many products here of such variety, so, yeah, I mean, Chris, we've run out of time here, but I love your passion for that, what do you call it, football?
Well, thank you.
Your NFL football stuff. I mean, it's amazing. It's like to buy out a stuff. I didn't understand it. I'm assuming that you just rented some seats, but as Ron said, you bought the things. I mean, that's mental. So seriously, Chris, thanks for spending the time with us. We've really enjoyed it, and we really hope that your business grows and you get, you've got a shipping problem. Let's create a shipping business. I think it's crazy. So cheers for spending time with us, Chris. It's been great.
My pleasure. Thank you for the invitation. I'm glad you guys found me. I've learned some valuable lessons, and invite me back sometime if you feel I'd be of value.
We certainly will, Chris. We certainly will. We'll paste all the notes of today's interview on our show notes page, which can be found at www.soyouwannasellonebay.com/show notes. Chris, before you leave us, how can people get in contact with you to talk football?
Absolutely. Well, you can always find me on eBay. Just search for Texas Stadium seats, and you'll find hundreds of autographed Texas Stadium seats, full seats, some with images on them. Go to the Gordo 116, and you can contact me that way. Feel free to go to my website, which is www.cowboyhousesports.com. Check me out on Facebook. Really, that's my number one way. I love Facebook. Go to Facebook and look for The Cowboy House in Lake Dallas, Texas. You can connect with me there. I'm on LinkedIn, of course. Most professionals are these days. Chris Gordon in Lake Dallas, Texas on LinkedIn. My phone number is 214-551-5978. Brother, I'm an open book. I love
sounds
talking.
like it.
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh, well, brilliant. Well, thanks so much for joining us, Chris. We've had so much fun. From everyone here at So You Want to Sell on eBay, I'm Ali Young.
And I'm Ron LeBeau.
That's all for this episode of So You Want to Sell on eBay. Be sure to check out our next episode or any past episodes by going online to soyouwannasellonebay.com. Also, be sure to follow us on your favorite social media sites, facebook.com/So You Want to Sell on eBay, and Twitter @Your eBay Podcast. Thanks for listening, and until next time, happy selling.
Have an idea for a topic or know someone who would like to be on the show? Let us know. Just go to www.soyouwannasellonebay.com/interview. We look forward to hearing from you. This podcast was produced in part by Pro Voice Works.